Good morning. Today is Thursday, June 27th, and I am recording this introductory video for the work of week 2 here in NMP 650. I'm recording it at the very end of week 1 because the module for the work of week 2 has just opened, and I want to make sure that this video is in place for you. The perspective that I have, or the frame with which I am recording this video, is your conversations toward the end of week 1. I want to, first of all, just confirm that I'm hearing the conversations that you're having, not only about your beginning of understanding of the capstone project and your topic area, and also about the beginning conversations with the Bowman and Deal frameworks. As I'm sure you've already noticed, and as I warned you, the work of NMP 650 does increase. And I know that you're beginning to feel the stress and feeling overwhelmed at the prospect of the capstone research. So let me just take a moment and reassure you that I am hearing that, number one, that we've anticipated that, number two, and also to reassure you that the work here in 650 is really meant to to walk you through the beginning stages of working on your capstone paper. The work here, the work of week 1 was meant to have you really seriously begin to think about your topic area and begin to really think about the possibilities and how you might further narrow that focus ultimately so that you will have a working research question. So by the end of week 1, the goal was simply for you to really have a working understanding of what your research topic area in general is going to be. The actual formulation of your research question will be a sort of a moving target by the end of week 3, in which you will, the assignment there will be to write the first chapter, the introduction chapter to your capstone paper. You will, by the end of week 3, need to have formulated a working draft of your research question or questions. But you will also find that this process is such that as you continue to read research in the literature and read about your topic area, you will probably be refining your research question throughout the process. But you have to start somewhere, so this is where we start. You also were talking about the basic concept of the Bowman and Deal frameworks. We will move forward in week 2, as I'll talk about in just a moment, to talk about the structural frame. But in general, I want to stress your conversations have been great in the discussion forums about the concept of the Bowman and Deal frameworks. But I want to stress that the framework structure is a way for you as a leader to begin to identify and analyze organizational issues within the organization that you're leading or that you're working for. You are not meant to necessarily agree with a particular framework or to be in agreement with a particular staff person, for example, as in the case of Helen DeMarco in our week 1 conversations. They're really meant for you to be able to understand that point of view so that you can move forward with either change or accommodation. It is a way for you to be able to deal with those issues with an understanding of the other person's or the structural point of view. That said, we're going to be moving on in week 2 to the structural frame. As I say, well, I'll talk about that in just a moment. In week 2, we're going to begin the work with the peer coaching groups. I will put those together at the very beginning of week 2, based on what I see in your papers that are handed in at the end of week 1, talking about your topic areas. The goal is to be able to form 2 groups, if not 3, where you are going to be researching and analyzing like topics, so that you can be most helpful to each other in these peer coaching groups. So look for that on Monday of week 2. And you will find that the peer groups have now not only been divided in terms of which group you belong to, but the discussion forums themselves should be segmented so that you only have access to the discussion of the group to which you've been assigned. In week 2, there's no specific written assignment. The assumption is that you have begun actually reading the literature that is in your topic area, so that you can begin to see what's been written about it, what's already been researched about it, what their research questions were, where the gaps are in the research. By the end of week 3, you should be able to, the assignment at the end of week 3 will be to write the first chapter of your capstone paper, which will include a statement of your topic area, a working draft of your research questions. You will also be talking about the importance of your topic area, why it's important, and what your goals are for your research project. That will be at the end of week 3. So don't think of week 2 as a week off. Think of it as at the beginning of your actual study of your topic area. Also in week 2, there will be a sign-up sheet. We will have a phone call, a required phone call in week 2, so please sign up for those phone call time slots. In general, we'll be talking about your topic area, where you're headed, and where your questions are, where your concerns are. Plan on that call lasting at least a half an hour. And when you make the call, please have your recent paper in front of you, so that you can talk about your topic area. It's helpful if you're not driving in your car, for example, so that you can take notes, and so that call can be the most help to you. Let's see. The other thing I want to talk about really quickly is the peer coaching groups should be helpful to you, not only in terms of your capstone research, but also in terms of beginning to form deeper connections with your classmates who are researching in the same topic area that you are. You will find that these peer coaching groups will be the same, not only here in 650, but they will extend into 670. Sylvia DeHaas Phillips, who teaches 670, will continue the same peer coaching groups. And that will give you a really deep opportunity to work with this same cohort. And these connections that you've made, I'm sure, throughout many of your classes here in the NMP program will continue to serve you after you've left the program, and you really will have a deep network of colleagues following the program. Finally, I do want to talk a little bit about the structural frame, which we will be talking about in week 2. The Bowman and Deal material will be used to analyze the Willow Creek case study. So please be sure that you've read not only the Bowman and Deal material, but also the Willow Creek case study. In order for you to be able to participate in the discussions, you'll need both of those, to have read both of those. In general, the structural frame is a really good example of form following function. It's all about fit and balance. when you think about it and you think about the structural frame in terms of an organization, questions that you might be asking are things like, is there a lack of clarity, or is there a lack of creativity, or is there a balance right in the middle? The structural frame is really about balance. Is there a lack of autonomy, or is there a lack of independence, or is the balance right in the middle? The structural frame is really about structure as freedom, setting goals so that you have your staff or the those who are working within the organization have that balance between autonomy and independence, between the goals, stated goals, or total freedom. If you think about it, it allows people to function within a structure that sets goals, but then allows them to function with a certain amount of creativity and freedom within that structure. It's not goals for goals' sake. So that's really the takeaway here is, how does the organization use that structure? Do they use it to control, or do they use it to provide freedom within a goal-oriented structure? That's really the basic takeaway there, and we'll talk more about that in the discussion forums. I'm going to call it quits. Hopefully, you will find that the work of week 2 and the structural frame, the structural frame really resonates with a lot of people. They feel that that's where their comfort zone is, and that's what they've known. So it's for you to begin to identify why it feels comfortable to you. What about it allows you to feel that comfort? Okay, so let me know where your questions are. Be sure to sign up for the time slots for those telephone calls. Once again, my mobile number is area code 845. I totally spaced it. 380-0155. 845-380-0155. Sorry. Time for me to stop. Okay, have a great rest of this week, and here's onward to week 2.